Hello and welcome back to our Lord of the Rings LCG solo progression series. And today's quest is the Lonely Mountain, which is the second scenario in the On the Doorstep Deluxe expansion. And this is the fifth out of 6 total scenarios in the Hobbit saga. A quick reminder, in the series we're playing through each quest in chronological order of the game's initial release, and we'll only be using player cards that were available at the time of this quest release. I'm calling this deck Steward of Erebor because Denethor will be the MVP of this deck. And this is the part of the story where Bilbo sneaks into the Lonely Mountain to steal the Arkenstone from Smaug. It's a lengthy quest, and once again, it's kind of par for the course for the Hobbit Saga quests, but all these unique mechanics that are sort of thematic are included. This is a lot like the riddle mechanic. It's called Burgle that we'll see in this quest. And so we've set up our deck to do well against that mechanic. But let's get to the quest and see how we do. I'll try to move through things pretty quickly. This is, like I said, a lengthy quest. All right, opening hand. Let's go ahead and try to get some card draw. We don't need 3 copies of Faramir, so let's mulligan that hand. Okay, Light of Valinor is not so bad. No card draw, unless we sneak attack Gandalf in, but we can't because we don't have Song of Kings. All right, here is the On the Doorstep Bilbo Baggins. The first player gains control of Bilbo Baggins, and he does not count against the hero limit, and he cannot gain resources from non-treasure cards, so no Steward of Gondor on Bilbo. There's an action that we used in the last quest where we can search our deck for a treasure card and add it to our hand, but no treasure cards because we're not playing campaign elements. All right, here is a warm welcome. Setup: search the encounter deck for Smaug the Golden, Smaug the Magnificent, the Lonely Mountain, and a Bare Patch. Set Smaug the Magnificent and a Bare Patch aside out of play. Here is Smaug the Magnificent and a Bare Patch. And then we add Smaug the Golden and the Lonely Mountain to the staging area. Here is the Lonely Mountain, 12 threat, and we'll look at that in a minute. And here is Smaug the Golden, X threat. His X value is based on the number of characters that are committed to the quest that don't have the burglar trait. The only character that has a burglar trait is Bilbo. So if he quests, Smaug's threat does not increase, but anybody else, Smaug's threat increases by 1 for their being committed. And then lastly, we shuffle the 5 Erebor treasure cards and stack them face down under the Lonely Mountain. So they're here in this encounter deck 2, and I'll show you the cards. Specifically, the best one is the Arkenstone, but you've got Thor's Hunting Bow as well, Thor's Golden Cup, Mithril Shirt, and Thor's Battle Axe. So let's go ahead and shuffle these cards. And we're supposed to put them face down under the Lonely Mountain. Dragon cards doesn't really have a good solution for this. If I attach them to the Lonely Mountain, that flips them face up. So I'm just going to leave them here, and we'll just leave that visible throughout the game. And so now we know how many cards are stacked under the Lonely Mountain. While at least 1 card is stacked underneath, the Lonely Mountain is immune to player card effects. So we have 5 cards attached or stacked underneath. It cannot leave the staging area, so we can't travel here. And it gets -2 threat for each card stacked underneath it. And so that 12 threat really just becomes initially 2. And so we'll decrease the threat by 10. So 2 threat decrease for each card stacked underneath it. There are 5 cards. 5 times 2 is 10. So that's 2 threat and then an X threat. That's what we have in staging. There's an action that we can take here using Bilbo's resources when we're making a burgle attempt. So that may come into play later on. And it does have victory points. And so eventually we will clear the Lonely Mountain. Okay, so that's it for setup. Very sorry about my throat, just still getting over that cold. It says, one day, although autumn was now getting far on, and winds were cold, and leaves were falling fast, 3 large boats left Lake Town, laden with rowers, dwarves, Mr. Baggins, and many provisions. So this is kind of nice. We skipped the quest phase, so there won't be any staging, no threat increase, all that. But at the end of the round, we will advance to stage 2. So free round here, resource phase. And it's nice to have some heroes that can do something with that free round. Let's exhaust Bearvor to draw 2 cards. There's that card draw I was hoping for. We'll go ahead and pay 2 resources to play Master of the Forge. And we'll take his action, Exhaust Master of the Forge, to search the top 5 cards of your deck for any one attachment and add it to your hand. And we will grab this Asphaloth. There's 2 copies, I think, in this deck. Shuffle the deck. And we'll save Glorfindel's resource. We're not really worried at all about threats, so Light of Valinor is not needed yet. Next round, it'd be better to be able to play Unexpected Courage. All right, so we're going to just skip over the quest phase altogether, so no committing, no staging, anything like that. During travel, we can't travel to the Lonely Mountain because it is immune to player card effects while it has these cards underneath, and it cannot leave the staging area. And then during the encounter phase, Smaug the Golden, he's indestructible, immune to player card effects, and he cannot be engaged. And so he's just asleep. And the only time he'll attack us is if we make a burgle attempt. We'll see those later. And we are unsuccessful, then he would make an attack against us. And there's a force effect at the bottom about progress tokens on Smaug, which we'll get to in a minute. So we just skip encounter phase and combat phase. And, well, actually, somewhere along the way, I should have used Denethor's action to look at the top card of the encounter deck, and it's good. We're just really not wanting. There's a particular treachery that makes Smaug attack you, and we don't want that, so we'll let that stand. Refresh, and at the end of the round, forced effect, advance to stage 2. The burglar's turn. There he lay, a vast red golden dragon, fast asleep. Thrumming came from his jaws and nostrils, and wisps of smoke, but his fires were low in slumber. Beneath him, under all his limbs and his huge coiled tail, very sorry, I think I'll get on top of this, and about him on all sides, stretching away across the unseen floors, lay countless piles of precious things, gold wrought and unwrought, gems and jewels, and silver red stained in the ruddy light. Okay, so there's a forced effect that I'll read in its entirety later, but when we quest successfully, we have to do a bunch of things. If we quest unsuccessfully, nothing happens. So we'll look at that in a minute. But there is no progress. It's just we stay here until we quest successfully. When we quest successfully, long story short, we have to make a burgle attempt. If we're successful, we get a treasure. If we're unsuccessful in the burgle attempt, Smaug attacks us. If we're successful in the burgle attempt, we have the option to move on to stage 3. But anyway, so let's go on to the next round. That was all at the end of the round. And we'll exhaust Spirit Void to draw 2 cards. And Master of the Forge will exhaust to look at the top 5 cards of our deck. And let's grab this Song of Kings and shuffle our deck. Let's go ahead and attach Asphaloth to Glorfindel, attach to an Noldor or Sylvan Hero, and we can take the action Exhaust Asphaloth to place 1 progress token on any location 2 instead if attached hero is Glorfindel. Let's spend both of his resources to put Unexpected Courage onto Denethor. We just want to use his action as much as needed. Also, we might as well do this Blood of Numenor attached to a Gondor hero. Let's put this on to Denethor. And we can spend resources from his pool to spend 1 resource from his pool to boost his defense by the remaining resources in his pool. So later on in the quest, when we actually have Smaug attacking us, Denethor can do the job. All right, we're not really wanting to spend Bilbo's resources, and so what we're going to do is just quest with Glorfindel, and our threat will go up by 1. We don't really mind questing with Glorfindel. Our threat's not an issue in this quest at all. But Smaug has a threat now of 1, because X is the number of non-burglar characters committed to the quest. We have 1. And then we'll go ahead and also commit Bilbo. He does not manipulate Smaug's X value at all. He's unseen. Okay, so we reveal Desolation of Smaug, and we were unsuccessful in the quest. Because we weren't successful, then we don't have to make a burglar attempt. And honestly, we don't really want to be successful at this point. We're purposefully really hoping to quest for 0, but we do not want to quest successfully the first few rounds anyway. Let's go ahead and exhaust Asphaloth to put 2 progress on Desolation of Smaug. We don't want to travel here because the first treachery card revealed each round will gain surge. Well, we're in quest here, the action window after quest resolution. So right before travel, let's go ahead and use Denethor's action. All right, so yeah, let's travel to Desolation of Smaug, because we're not worried about a treachery card since we know what's coming out anyway. We'll ready Denethor and just let this be the card. We don't have to deal with Smaug. He's not engaged with us. Really do apologize about me having to clear my throat so much. Refresh. Next round. Okay, we'll draw 2 cards with Barivor. There's our single copy of Song of Travel. We're hoping for a Steward of Gondor. Let's exhaust Master of the Forge to look for it. There it is. We'll shuffle our deck. Let's go ahead and spend a resource from Barivor's pool to attach Song of Kings to Bilbo. We'll spend his 2 resources, which now he has a leadership resource icon, to pay for Steward of Gondor. We'll attach it to Denethor and exhaust it to gain 2 resources. And we will also go ahead and attach Song of Travel to Denethor. This gives him a spirit resource icon. And we'll spend 2 spirit resources to attach Unexpected Courage to Denethor and use his last resource to attach Light of Valinor to Glorfindel. All right, we will quest with Glorfindel, who does not exhaust to quest now due to Light of Valinor, and Bilbo Baggins. And Bilbo is not contributing. He's not affecting Smaug's threat, but Glorfindel is. And we reveal Secret Entrance, and we made no progress. And we'll go ahead and exhaust Asphaloth to put 2 progress on Desolation of Smaug, and it leaves play. Now, I don't want to travel here because there's a travel effect, so we'll just Asphaloth this out of play in a minute. Let's go ahead and use Denethor's action. Hidden Path, refresh. Next round. Steward of Gondor, drawing 2 cards with Barivor. So the burgle mechanic that I mentioned, you have to discard cards from your hand. So it's good to wait and kind of build things up a little bit. Okay, let's get this Song of Kings. Shuffle our deck. I think I did, yeah. Let's go ahead and spend a resource from Barivor's pool to attach this Song of Kings to Denethor. So now he has a leadership resource icon. We really want to save Bilbo's resources so that we can use this action later on during burgle attempts. But I liked getting Steward of Gondor up early using Bilbo's resources. Let's go ahead and play Gleowine and exhaust Gleowine to draw a card. And let's go ahead also and put out Hinemarth. Okay, we're going to quest with Glorfindel and with Bilbo. And because there's only one questing character that does not have the burglar character or trait, he only contributes 1 threat, and we reveal Hidden Path. And just right here after staging, we'll use this action. Asphaloth will put 2 progress on Hidden Path. And so during quest resolution, we were not successful, so we will not do a burgle attempt. And now we can use Denethor's action. Let's move that to the bottom. Use Denethor again. Move that to the bottom. Definitely want to try to avoid these treacheries until we have Test of Will on our hand. And Dark Bats as well will move to the bottom. Okay, and now we'll use Hinemarth to see what's coming. All right, refresh. And next round. There's a Test of Will. That's good. We'll draw 2 cards with Barivor. We'll exhaust Steward of Gondor, draw a card with Gleowine, and use Master of the Forge to grab this duplicate Steward of Gondor. All right, we want to... Am I ready to start questing successfully? I think I'll wait just a little bit longer Let's go ahead and knock out this secret entrance. And there's not really a reason for me to, I guess I'll play Master of the Forge, exhaust that to look at the top 5 cards, and grab this Dunedain Mark. Shuffle our deck. Okay, we're going to commit Glorfindel and Bilbo, and we reveal secret entrance. No progress made. No, we did not quest successfully, so we've yet to attempt to steal a treasure from Smaug. Okay, we'll use Denethor's action again, moving this to the bottom of the deck, especially that one since it surges. That also surges. And that one surges, so we're just moving everything to the bottom here. Let's exhaust Hinnemarth to look at what's coming. Western Slopes, refresh, and next round. All right, so I think this is where we'll start making progress and doing the burgle mechanic. Okay, let's grab this final Unexpected Courage with Master of the Forge. And then I think I'm going to leave this Master of the Forge ready just in case Smaug makes an attack or something. I don't really need any more. I was trying to dig for Unexpected Courage. Let's go ahead and put this Unexpected Courage onto Denethor. So we have all 3. We'll exhaust Steward of Gondor. So let's go ahead and exhaust Asphaloth to put 2 progress on Secret Entrance. And we just need to quest for... right now we'd be questing for 3, 4 against 5, so we need to get a little more online, a little more questing power. So I guess we could sneak attack Gandalf in, maybe. Yeah, let's do that. We'll sneak attack Gandalf in and draw 3 cards. Okay, so we're going to quest with Gandalf, Bilbo, and Glorfindel. He does not exhaust a quest. So that means since Gandalf's now questing, Smaug's threat is 2. And we will reveal Western Slopes. And so we were successful in the quest. You don't place progress on the burglar's turn. So after questing successfully, we are in quest resolution. After questing successfully, place 1 progress token on Smaug the Magnificent. Then the first player makes a burgle attempt. So let's talk about what that is. If we're successful, there's a branching path here. If we're successful, we get a treasure. If we're unsuccessful, the forced effect at the bottom tells us Smaug will attack us. All right, so we're going to take a burgle attempt. So what you do is you discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you find one that has the burgle keyword. See that at the bottom? It's just a lot like, it looks like Riddle, right, where you have this text at the bottom. So let's discard until we find burgle. Here is one. The first player shuffles his deck. Always we shuffle our deck during burgles. So it's a lot like riddles. The first player shuffles his deck and reveals the top card. Now that's not discard. It's not taken into your hand. You just look at it. You reveal it. It is Erebor Hammersmith. We may then discard 2 cards from our hand that match the revealed card's type. So I can discard 2 allies. And so I'll just discard these Hunters of Lamadon, I think. And so we have passed the burgle attempt. If we were unsuccessful, or if we got a card like maybe Gandalf or something like that we couldn't really do anything with, then we could always take this action while making a burgle attempt. The first player may spend 2 Baggins resources, which I'm up to 4, and take that revealed card into our hand and then reveal the next card. So you want to be careful. You don't want to have like 3 cards whenever you start doing burgle attempts, because you just need cards in your hand for the purpose of potentially cycling through a little bit with Bilbo's action here. But we didn't have to do it. We successfully burgled. All right, so if successful, the first player takes the top treasure card from under the Lonely Mountain into his hand. So we already shuffled the deck, but let me do it again. Here's the top card. It is Mithril Shirt. I wish it was the Arcane Stone. It's not. Okay, so if we had been unsuccessful, Smaug the Golden would have attacked us. Now we have the option as part of all this forced effect, then the players may advance to stage 3, which we don't want to. I'm going to wait to get all the treasures before we advance. Notice here, Smaug the Golden said forced. After the 6th progress token is placed here, the players advance to stage 4A. So there is a stage 3, which is where you win the game, and then stage 4, which is a little bit of a roundabout. You have to get to stage 4 and then go back to 2. So we just want to quest successfully, and each time we quest successfully, we want to grab a treasure. In doing that, Smaug would only ever have 5 progress tokens on him. We would never advance to stage 4, and so the idea is when we quest successfully, let's burgle successfully as well. And there are ways to remove progress tokens, like Western Slope, I think, is one of the only ones, if the only one. I don't know for sure. So we were successful in the burgle attempt, and we declined to advance into stage 3. At the end of questing, Gandalf comes back to hand, and we will travel to Western Slopes. And there's a response regarding Western Slopes when it leaves play. We can't exhaust Asphalth because he's already exhausted. Let's use Denethor's action, and Dark Bats will move to the bottom of the deck. And again, way down. We could just cancel that with Test of Will, I think. Okay, we will refresh and move on to the next round. And again, we don't really... I guess we could draw some more cards. Let's draw 2 cards, and then we'll stop. But just the more cards you have in hand, the more likely you are to be able to discard the necessary cards to the burgle effects. Let's just see what we can get, if anything, with a Master of the Forge. We don't have anything. Okay, we'll attach this Mithril Shirt to Bilbo. Attached hero gets +1 defense and +1 health. Let's exhaust Steward of Gondor. So this time forward, we do not want to draw cards other than just during the resource phase. Now, we do have a Will of the West, and so we can always recur, so I'm not really worried, but we're going to slow down our card draw while we try to finish up this burgling. I did neglect to mention, now there's 4 cards under the Lonely Mountain. So it's still immune to player cards, but it gets -2 threat for each card stacked underneath it. So we're down to 4. That means it's -8. And so it's contributing 4 threat now. So we have to, keep our threat or keep our willpower pretty high as that starts to increase. Okay, we'll go ahead and exhaust Asphalth to put 2 progress on Western Slopes. And we will go ahead and sneak attack Gandalf in. And when we do, we will lower our threat by 5. Smaug is immune to player card effects. Okay, we'll quest with Gandalf and Glorfindel and Bilbo. And so we will be successful. We just won't quite clear Western Slopes. And that's fine. Okay, we reveal way down. Let's cancel that with Test of Will. We made 2 progress. And so that means we were successful. And so forced, after questing successfully, place 1 progress on Smaug the Golden. So he's up to 2. If successful, the first players take the the first players make a burgle attempt. So let's do that now. Here we go. Burgle. The first player shuffles his deck and reveals the top card. He may discard 1 card from his hand that matches the revealed card's sphere and type. So let's shuffle the deck and reveal. It is Test of Will. So I don't want to discard Will of the West, so we're going to use Bilbo's action. Action: while making a burgle attempt, the first player may spend 2 Baggins resources to take the revealed card into hand and reveal the next card of his deck. So we'll take that action. So we take this into hand and reveal the next card. It is Gandalf. This says matches the reveal card's sphere and type. This is not a sphere. This is not a sphere. So let's do it again. Action. Gandalf is drawn to our hand, and we reveal a test of will. All right, so if we want Smaug to attack us, or if we don't want Smaug to attack us, then we need to discard. We can do this. Discard one card from hand that matches the reveal card's sphere and type. That would be test of will. We'll discard that, and so we've successfully burgled. So we get the topmost treasure card, and it is the Arkenstone. Yes, I always like to use it to try to get Faramir in for free. Okay, so that's it. Let's use Denethor's action. Desolation of Smaug is good. Gandalf came back to our hand at the end of questing. And we will refresh. Next round. Steward of Gondor. We don't really want to draw cards anymore. The threat of Lonely Mountain is up to 6 because there's 3 cards underneath it. Okay, let's play Arkenstone. We'll attach it to Denethor. It can be attached to any hero. Action, exhaust the Arkenstone and raise your threat by X to lower the cost of the next ally you play by X. This phase, it matches the attached hero's sphere. So he's a leadership. So we're going to exhaust this. He's got a leadership sphere. So for 4 threat, we can play for free Faramir. I'm going to start, I guess I'll put him here. And then 1, 2, 3, let's play a Rivendell Minstrel. And we could use her response, but there's no songs left in my deck. So we'll just leave her there we won't do the response. Trying to leave as many resources in Denethor's pool as possible. Let's see here. What do we have in our discard pile? Let's go ahead and attach. We got to at some point. Let's attach these Dunedain marks to Glorfindel. So now he gets +1 attack for each of those. We'll just indicate that his attack is 6. And we'll wait a little bit on Asphalloth. I want to leave resources on Denethor while I can. So yeah, let's go ahead and we have Faramir now, so we don't necessarily need Gandalf's willpower. So Glorfindel will quest, and Bilbo will as well, and Galeowine, and Barivor. I mean, you need to make sure you're questing with somebody that has at least 1 willpower, boosted by Faramir that outdoes the threat that it's going to add to Smaug. And also Rivendell Minstrel. So this is going to be how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4 non-Burgle characters. So his threat is 4. And we'll exhaust Faramir to boost for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we will make the necessary progress to advance, or to quest successfully. We just got it in. Okay, we revealed Desolation of Smaug when we made 1 progress. And so we were successful. Response: when Western Slope leaves play as an explored location, we can choose to either remove 1 progress token from Smaug the Golden or draw 2 cards. Let's remove this progress. And it says, goodness, almost want to delete this recording, but hopefully it doesn't sound like too bad in the mic. Okay, after questing successfully, place 1 progress token on Smaug. We just did there. And then we make a burgle attempt. Here we go, burgle. The first player shuffles his deck and reveals the top card. He may discard 2 cards from his hand that match the revealed card's cost. Okay, it is Hunter of Lamadon. We've got plenty. Let's discard Galeowine and Galeowine. So we were successful, and so we grab a treasure. It is Thror's Hunting Bow. And so now Lonely Mountain is contributing 8 threat. We'll exhaust Asphaloth to put 2 progress on Desolation of Smaug. We'll use Denethor's action. Hidden Path is good. And we will refresh next round. Steward of Gondor. Again, we're not really wanting to draw our cards particularly. Let's go ahead and exhaust Asphaloth to put 2 progress on Desolation of Smaug. It leaves play. We'll need a little more willpower than we had last round now, so I think let's go ahead and put another Rivendell Minstrel into play. I think that'll be enough now. We're questing now. Okay, so that's going to be how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minus Bilbo is going to be 5. And we exhaust Faramir to boost for 6. And so, yeah, we just did it again. We reveal Hidden Path, and we were successful in the quest. And so we make a burgle attempt. Let's do it. Burgle. The first player shuffles his deck and reveals the top card. He may discard 1 card from his hand that matches the revealed card's type and cost. So we're looking for type and cost. Let's shuffle the deck and reveal. Okay, Faramir. How many do I do? Discard 1 card, type and cost. So we do have a Faramir. Let's discard Faramir. That's one of the reasons I don't really need 3 Faramirs, but I included 3 because of this situation. All right, so we pass the burgle attempt. And so we grab a treasure, and it is Thror's Cup. And so we know the last one is, what's it called, the axe or something? Yeah, Thror's Battle Axe. Okay, so this is 10 threat now, but still immune to player cards until all 5 cards are gone. Denethor's action. We could play Test of Will and cancel that next round. But I think I have 2 Test of Wills in the, I think I'll move that to the bottom. Denethor, moving that to the bottom. And again, Denethor. Great Hall's good. All right, we will refresh and move on to the next round. All this time, like if somehow we were unsuccessful, Smaug would make an attack against us, we could chump with Master of the Forge. Let me make sure I have the right amount of progress on Smaug the Golden. We've successfully quested 4 times because we have 4 treasures, but then we removed 1, so I think we're supposed to have 3 right now because we removed 1 because of Western Slopes. So somewhere along the way I forgot to put a progress on him. Okay, so let's exhaust Steward of Gondor. And we'll just go ahead for fun. We'll attach Thror's Cup to Bilbo and Thror's Hunting Bow just because I'm in a weird mood. Let's attach it to Bilbo Baggins. It's useless because we can't do ranged attacks. All right. Probably good to go ahead and play from hand Gandalf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's play Gandalf, and we'll just lower our threat by 5. We're going to exhaust Asphaloth to put 2 progress on Hidden Path. And we will quest. And we reveal Great Hall. We'll exhaust. Wait, let's make sure we've got the right threat value for Smaug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's at 6 because Bilbo doesn't contribute. And so that's 7. So we made 2 progress. So we were successful in the quest. After questing successfully, place 1 progress token on Smaug. And then we make a burgle attempt. Burgle, the first player shuffles his deck and reveals the top card. He may discard one card from his hand that matches the revealed card's sphere and cost. So we're looking for sphere and cost. All right, that would be sneak attack is all I have, and I don't want to lose it, so let's use Bilbo's action to draw that into our hand and reveal another card. Sphere and cost. Let's discard this Asphaloth. So we were successful in the final Burgle attempt, so we grab the final treasure, which is Thror's Battle Axe. And so now we've got a Lonely Mountain now contributes 12 threat, and it is no longer immune to player cards, and it can leave the staging area. All right, so we were successful in getting the final treasure, and Smaug never had 6 progress on him. And so it says, then the players may advance to stage 3. Let's do it. This is where we'll win the game. Inside information. They debated long on what was to be done, but they could think of no way of getting rid of Smaug, which had always been a weak point in their plans, as Bilbo felt inclined to point out. Pretty funny. When revealed, set Smaug the Golden aside out of play. Let's move him to out of play. And then we add Smaug the Magnificent and a bear patch to the staging area. They were set aside initially. So here is Smaug the Magnificent. He's alert now because his treasure's been stolen, so he's mad. And a bear patch. So we have to quest successfully to get a bear patch. Let's look at Smaug. He's indestructible, so you can damage him, but you can't just destroy him through damage. Immune to player card effects, so you can't Gandalf him or something. He cannot leave the staging area, but is considered to be engaged with the first player, so he's engaged with us from the staging area. Forced, if Smaug the Magnificent is dealt a shadow card with a Burgle effect, he makes an additional attack immediately after this one, so he can have a bunch of chain of attacks. Players cannot defeat the stage while Smaug the Magnificent is in play, so we'll need to get rid of him, and how we do that is the forced effect. If the total number of progress on this stage is greater than the total remaining hit points on Smaug the Magnificent, remove Smaug the Magnificent from play. So it's interesting. He's got 20 progress, so we have to damage Smaug at least for 1 and make the necessary... Well, I guess if you had more than 20, what am I thinking? You could have 25 progress, but at some point we may... you don't have to explore inside information for this to work. If I have 16 progress on inside information and he has 15 remaining health, then he would leave play, right? If the players defeat this stage, they have won the game and discovered any treasure successfully burgled from the Lonely Mountain. Okay, so we're done with all that. So we're going to travel to the Lonely Mountain. Let's get rid of that 12 threat. And we definitely don't want the Great Hall to be the active location, because there's a negative effect. No negative effect from this being the active location. And while the Lonely Mountain's in play, it's still true that we can use this action for burgle attempts, but we're not going to be doing burgle attempts. I don't think there's a card that makes us do a burgle. I don't remember for sure. All right, so Smaug is going to attack us. He's engaged with us. So Gandalf was played from our hand. He was not sneak attacked in. So Smaug will attack us, but actually, let me go back in time. So during the encounter phase before the combat, let's exhaust Denethor to look at the top card. We're looking for a card that does not have Burgle, because forced, if Smaug the Magnificent is dealt a shadow card with a Burgle effect, he makes an additional attack. This doesn't have a Burgle effect, so we can just ready Denethor. And so now we're in combat, and we know what the shadow is. It doesn't have a Burgle effect, so there won't be a chain of Smaug attacks. This is part 2 of why we're using Denethor. We used him to obvious great effect during the first part of the game, but now he's a defender, boosted by Blood of Numenor, and he can control, to some degree, if Smaug gets extra attacks. So Smaug is attacking for 8. Let's defend with Denethor. That is 8 against 3, but we have Blood of Numenor. Spend 1 resource from attached hero's resource pool. We'll do that. So now he has 9 resources left. And so the attached hero gets +1 defense for each resource in its resource pool until the end of the phase. So he's got 12 defense, so he blocked Smaug's attack. And he is engaged with us, so we can attack back. I just don't think we can get through his armor. Glorfindel at this point can only attack for 6, and so we don't get to put any damage on him. And so we'll go ahead and ready Denethor and look at what's on top of the deck. That's good. And so we discard Shadows, refresh. Gandalf leaves play at the end of the round. And next round. And we have 2 cards left. Let's go ahead and exhaust Bearable to draw them. And we'll play this Will of the West. We'll set this aside and shuffle. Oh, wait. I thought I only had 2 cards left in my deck. Drew a card. Okay, so we'll draw the final card with Galeowine. And now we just played Will of the West, and we recurred all these discarded cards back into our deck. And we'll exhaust Steward of Gondor. Let's play Arwen. She will exhaust, each time she exhausts a quest, she's going to boost Denethor, so his defense is going to be 4 now. Let's attach Thor's Battle Axe to Glorfindel, so he gets +2 attack for that. So he's attacking for 8 now. And let's play Rivendell Minstrel from our hand. There's no song, so we won't worry about a response. Nothing else to do. We'll sneak attack Gandalf in during combat and try to damage Smaug. I don't remember last round if I used Asphaloth or not. I think I must have. I don't remember for sure. I might have missed out on an opportunity to get a little further ahead with these locations. But anyway, we'll wait. We'll wait to use that. Okay, let's quest. And so there's no more of this. Smaug doesn't have an X value, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. We're not trying to be sneaky. So we'll quest. And it'd be nice to clear Lonely Mountain here. We'll also quest with Master of the Forge. We'll leave 1 ready just in case we need a chump. We'll also quest. I think more important than damaging Smaug is just questing successfully here. So let's quest with everybody, except we won't quest with Denethor. All right, so we reveal Great Hall, and we exhaust Faramir to boost for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, so we're successful. So Lonely Mountain goes to the victory display. And there's a effect here on this card, a bear patch. After the player's quest successfully, the first player makes a burgle attempt. If successful, attach a bear patch to Smaug the Magnificent. Let's do it. So no burgle there. Here's one. The first player shuffles his deck and reveals the top card. He may discard 2 cards from his hand that match the revealed card's sphere. Okay, 2 cards that match the sphere. Let's discard Steward of Gondor's. Now, if we were unsuccessful, nothing happens. This is not like the last stage, so it's not like, oh no, we don't have Bilbo's action anymore. So we would just not get bear patch. But as it is, we were successful. Attach it to Smaug the Magnificent, and while attached, Smaug the Magnificent gets -3 defense. Just a small boost there. Okay, let's exhaust Asphaloth to put 2 progress on Great Hall. And during the I don't want to travel to these. Well, I guess we can now. While Great Hall is the active location, it gains forced. Put 1 progress on Smaug the Golden at the end of each round. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter because he's not Smaug the Golden, so it doesn't bother us anymore. All right, so during the encounter phase, let's use Denethor's action, hoping to not see a burgle. Okay, good. And so now he gets a shadow card at the beginning of combat, and during that action window, we're going to sneak attack Gandalf in. We'll use Bilbo's resource for that. Sneak attack Gandalf in, and we can't damage Smaug because he's immune to player card effects, so we'll just lower our threat by 5. And so now he will attack for 8. Denethor will defend and use 1 resource, so he's got 9 plus 3. He's at 13 defense, and this says attacking enemy gets +1. So Denethor blocked that attack. He readies, and now we'll attack for 8 because Glorfindel has the Dunedain marks and Thor's battle axe. So 8 and 4 is against 5. That's 12. So that's 7 damage. And I don't think I want to use Denethor to attack. We'll use his action. Move that to the bottom of the deck. And again, Denethor's action. That's good, I guess. We'll discard shadows. And Gandalf comes back to hand. So remember, forced, if the total number of progress on the stage is greater than the total remaining hit points. So right now, if somehow Smaug had 18 damage, or 19 damage actually, we would discard him from play. All right, so refresh. I think this is the final round. Next round. Let's go ahead and use Asphalt to put 2 progress tokens on Great Hall. It leaves play. And Steward of Gondor. Might be good to make some progress here, so let's just kind of put out some allies. 1, 2. We'll put out Erebor Hammersmith. Do we have any attachments? Yep. And then 1, 2. We'll put out another Erebor Hammersmith and grab the topmost attachment. And 1, 2. We'll play another Erebor Hammersmith. And 1, 2. Hunter of Lamadon. 1, 2. We'll play Miner of the Iron Hills. There are no conditions. There is a conditioned attachment that it's like Dragon Sickness or something, Dragon Horde. Dragon Spell, but we haven't seen it. But it can kind of make things really bad for you, so I did include 3 of them. And they also help with the burgle attempts. All right, so let's play another Miner of the Iron Hills. I just really want to try to get rid of Smaug this round if I can. We're not going to play a Test of Will or anything. I just need enough. I can sneak attack Gandalf in using Bilbo's resources. All right, so we're going to quest. I'll use Master of the Forge to chump. And then if I need to, I could chump with somebody else, like Hunter of Lamadon or something. Okay, we reveal Western Slopes. Okay, we exhaust Faramir. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questing characters. So that's 11. 7 plus 2 is 9. This leaves play. All right, so force. If the total number of progress on the stage is greater than the total remaining hit points on Smaug the Magnificent, remove Smaug the Magnificent from play. Right now that's not true. There's 13, which is more than 9. We'll travel to Western Slopes. And during the encounter phase, we will go ahead and try to keep Smaug from doing multiple attacks. So Denethor is going to use his action. There's a burgle, so let's bury it. Do it again. There's no burgle. We'll ready Denethor. And so now we're in combat. Shadow card is dealt. And we'll sneak attack Gandalf in. and lower our threat by 5. And now we have to just jump with this Master of the Forge, this one here. And so attacking enemy gets +1. That's 9 attack. He destroys this Master of the Forge. This one was exhausted from questing. All right, so now we can attack back for 8, 10, and 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 21 minus 5 is 16, plus 7, 23. Now he's indestructible, so he can't be destroyed by this damage, but it says forced if the total number of progress on the stage is greater than the total remaining hit points on Smaug, which is 0, then remove Smaug the Magnificent from play. So this is this, I guess, was strange, but this one isn't removed from play. This is just discarded, I guess, but we'll move him to set aside. He's just removed from play. But we've not won the game yet because we don't have 20 progress. But if the players defeat the stage, they've won the game. He's out of play, and so now we'll just quest next round and win. Gandalf comes back to our hand, but actually let's look at what's coming with Denethor. That's good. Refresh, and here's that final round. Draw 2 cards with Barivor, and 1 with Gleowine. There's a sneak attack. Let's play Miner of the Iron Hills. And we'll go ahead and exhaust Asphaloth to put 2 progress on Western Slopes. And we'll sneak attack Gandalf in. Lower threat by 5. Why do we keep doing that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll quest with everybody. There was a response on Hunter of Lamedon, but I didn't want to use it. Okay, we reveal Great Hall, and we'll exhaust Faramir to boost for quite a lot. I don't think the math matters. We'll just Western Slope will leave play, and we'll make enough progress to defeat Inside Information for sure. If the players defeat the stage, they've won the game and discovered any treasure successfully burgled from the Lonely Mountain. So we got all 5 treasures. We just won't use them in the next quest, which is the next quest. The final quest for the Hobbit Saga is the best in the Hobbit Saga for sure. It is Battle of 5 Armies, really, really fun. It feels a lot like Siege of Cair Andros, maybe not quite as difficult, but a really great quest. Looking forward to that one. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I really do apologize for the constant clearing of my throat. Just couldn't quite get that taken care of. I hope that it wasn't too annoying. But anyway, thanks for joining me, and hope you enjoyed the playthrough despite my issues. Have a great day. Bye.